I am out here in the beautiful Northwest winter start with my friend Mike, Millennial Mike here on YouTube. My name is Dion. If you are new to the channel, we're going to talk in this video about our worst financial year. The year that made us think about quitting, possibly.
Yeah.
Our goal is to help you reach financial freedom. The idea is the average person can reach financial freedom in 10 years or less, no matter what position you're starting from. You just have to actually choose that it's possible and then take action. You are close to financial freedom, I would say a couple of years.
I think maybe even closer than that now.
Talk a little bit about the 7 years or so that it took to get where we are now.
Yeah, so for those of you who maybe are fans of Dion's and never seen my channel before, I'm a full-time police officer, have been for over a decade. Been investing in real estate for 7 years, since 2018. Started with a house hack like many of you. It's my #1 way that I recommend people get started. And then I started investing in cheap rentals in the Midwest. And I started building a portfolio in Indiana, more specifically in the city of Gary, Indiana, which if you Google Gary, you're going to be wondering why anyone would invest there. Former murder capital of the country, very depressed area. But I've been slowly building a portfolio out there. I got 27 rental units now, about $15,000 a month in rental income. That's not all profit, about half of it's profit. And I'm getting very, very close to replacing my W-2 income and pulling the plug on life as a cop.
I like the idea of, you're farther than halfway in the journey, even though the cash flow isn't halfway there.
Correct.
The hockey stick growth starts in the next couple of years.
Right.
So if you were kind of paying attention there, 7 years of investing to get to 27 rentals with $7,000 or so a month in cash flow. Sounds fun. Sounds easy. Who wouldn't like an extra $7,000 a month coming in that you don't have to get out of bed for? So it's all puppies and kittens and rainbows and nothing ever goes wrong.
Yeah. No. So Dion and I are sitting down, we're having breakfast, and I was like, you know what we should talk about? We should talk about the worst financial year we've ever had. And what prompted that is because I'm right now having the worst financial year I've ever had. I've been releasing a couple videos on my channel, again, Millennial Mike, and the title is, I lost $160,000 on this triplex, or I just got slapped with an $8,000 tax bill. And you know what they say, when it rains, it pours. And I don't know what it is about the last 12 to 24 months, but I have had one issue after the next. And it is one of those things where you doubt yourself. You have moments where you're like, oh my gosh, is this worth it? I just can't catch a break. It's such a huge pain. And so, I wanted to ask Dion, I know his story pretty well. But what was your worst financial year? What led up to it? What caused it? How did you persevere and get through it? What advice do you have for the folks out there watching?
Well, the first thing I would say is, after having been a parent and my kids are over 18 and moved out of the house now, when somebody says something like you said, I'm having the worst financial year of my life, I will say, so far.
Right. It can always get worse.
It could always get worse, right. And I think people need to understand, as investors, are you an investor or are you a collector? Because as a collector, people who have collections of things, real estate, cars, Hot Wheels, lumberjack landlords collects baseball cards.
Yeah.
Collectors are always more concerned with what they don't have in their collection, what they could get,
right,
than they are with what they have in their collection and the work that they put into getting to where they are now. So I'm hoping that while you're having the worst financial year you've had so far, you'll also look at that $7,000 in cash flow that you've created that other people just don't have yet, or a lot of people don't even think is possible. My worst financial year, well, I've had a few bad ones since, but the worst is the first. I was laid off from law enforcement. I found out about a bunch of debt in my name I didn't know existed until the divorce. Was a single parent with 3 kids. And I had a bad debt to income ratio, so I moved into an apartment and rented out my house to try to get around that. And the first year, I lost money with that rental. So I had the debt. I had a new job that didn't pay a lot. I didn't have cash flow. It was such a bad year where I'm going to tell you there's a little bit of luck, I think, in your story, and there's a little bit of luck in my story. The luck in Mike's story is you're 7 years in, and now you have the worst year.
It's true.
You know it's worth it.
Right.
So you're going to continue. My first year was so bad, I didn't know if it was worth it. And I actually tried to quit. I thought I'm not smart enough. The people that I know that have rentals are just better at life than I am.
Right.
So I actually tried to quit. And the luck involved in my story is I was upside down on my house. I owed more on it than it was worth. So I couldn't even give it away. I didn't know subject to was a thing, but I thought somebody could just take over payments, layman's terms. But I owed more on it than it was worth, and that wasn't even an option.
Mm-hmm.
So the luck in my story is I was stuck with the house, so I had to continue. If you're starting in real estate and you have your worst year in the first year, I don't think you might understand how worth it is and how financial freedom is still possible, and how, there's going to be bumps in the road and you're going to make mistakes and things are going to cost a lot. You can have a lazy friend who's an investor who says buy rent-ready or already occupied properties off the MLS using conventional loans. And you might choose to invest in a cheaper market, all cash that needs a big, huge rehab. And it takes 3 years and you don't have it rented out yet. I mean, it's just hypothetical.
Yeah. That sounds a little close to home right there.
A little close to home. What I do like is you're about 5'8", right?
I'm 5'8".
This shows people that I'm about, 3'7".
Dion's 4'7".
4'7".
Yeah.
Nice. As long as I don't fall in the water, we'll be good. That's good.
As long as you don't fall in a puddle, we'll be good.
Right, step in a puddle. That's all it would take. So what's the lesson that you're taking away from you believe you're having your worst financial year now in year 7, where you said you lost how much on the triplex?
$160,000. So, and that doesn't even include missed opportunity costs. How many years have I owned this triplex and I have never collected 1 penny in rent? It hurts to think about that stuff. What am I paying in my private money notes to the private money lenders? What do I have sitting on credit cards that the 12% or the 0% interest for 12 months has now ended, and now I'm just paying money in credit cards? And I know I could do a balance transfer onto a new card, and I probably will. All these costs. The reason it's important to talk about this stuff is when I first started watching real estate and financial investing and financial advice content on YouTube, and I would watch guys like Kris Krohn, Grant Cardone, Graham Stephan, Meet Kevin, BiggerPockets, all these names you guys have probably seen and heard. And they will tell you this very sugar-coated, glamorized version of how you retire and become financially free with real estate. And I would sit there and say, is that really how they did it? Is it that simple? Can it be done? Or am I just getting the Hollywood version of it because it plays well and it helps them sell a course? So I started my channel in 2017 before I owned rentals. When I had no money in my bank account, I was recently divorced, a single dad with full custody. I started my channel then, and the goal was to have the most transparent and honest video series about how to actually achieve financial freedom through real estate. And so the reason I think it's so important to talk about this stuff is because this is reality. Dion's first year, where he rented it out to somebody he was friends with, and then that person re-rented it to someone else and stopped paying him rent and started collecting rent. Those are like the real stories of suck that can happen to you, happen to me, happen to anybody. Anybody can buy a Burr strategy project, think it's going to go well, and then get kicked in the teeth when it gets delayed, the money gets expensive, you keep opening up one problem after the next, the plumbing sucks, the electrical sucks, the contractor steals your money. I mean, it's important to be aware of these things because it is hard, it is difficult, and you're going to doubt yourself and you're going to be stressed, and you might be wondering, am I stupid? Is everybody else just smarter than me and better than me? I think everybody has these stories, and a lot of people lie about whether or not they have them, where they don't share them. People like to share their wins.
I think one of the things you're really trying to stress is, even with knowledge, education, experience, you can still have things go wrong.
Oh, for sure.
You could still have expenses you weren't expecting, rents not come in that you were expecting. One of the things I say in most of my videos, and if you watch a lot of my content, you probably hear this too much, but I talk about the position I was in when I started. Because most times I'll make a video about the cash flow from a rental or how much I made in a rental in 3 years or one of those type of videos, and I want to whiteboard it and really get the information out there. almost every one of those videos gets comments from people saying, well, you made a lot of money at your job, or you inherited a bunch of money, or there was some reason why it was easy for you. So one of the most common things I do in my videos is talk about that starting position, a bunch of bad debt, low income, single parent, 3 kids, because it's almost like I just want to defend the position that even if you're in a challenging position, and you might not be making a lot of money, and you might have some debt, whether you knew about it or not, it's possible. Even with your worst year, financial freedom is possible.
Right.
And you say things like you lost $160,000 on this deal. When the rehab is done and it's rented out, what will the property be worth?
When it's totally remodeled, it'll be worth $250,000.
$250,000. And what did you pay for it?
I paid $60,000. Then I put another $60,000 in a private note on it. Then I put another $80,000 or so into repair costs. So that's already gotten me up to $200,000.
So your worst year ever means that deal's going to be basically break even.
Break even, yeah.
And the problem with that is it was 3 years where you could have done deals that weren't break even.
Right.
So you see the opportunity cost. You see the several layers to it. I think if we go over here and turn around,
sure,
the wind won't be as
get the
bad.
wind off the mics. Hopefully people in the comments can actually hear us.
I know hopefully the wind isn't too bad out here. This is why when you live in the Pacific Northwest, you reach financial freedom so you can spend the winters in Thailand and not have to worry about weather like this. So do me a favor in the comments below, whether it's this year, a year that hasn't happened yet, you expect it to happen, or something from your past. What was your worst financial year? When you look at that year, was it worth it? Did you take enough lessons away from it? Or are you going to do like a lot of other people do? Bury your head in the sand, do your match for 401k, hope to retire when you're so old you can't enjoy it, when you're finally past that 59.5 year paywall for your retirement accounts, and you hope that Social Security is still there. There is risk involved. There could be, and there probably will be, loss involved. But the win far, I would say, outweighs it. The time freedom is much more important. You have a couple of young kids now. You got to look at the time. Do you want to work until they're too old for you to enjoy it?
Right.
Or do you put in a couple more years, reach financial freedom, and go and actually be the hands-on deck king of Gary, Indiana?
Right, exactly.
All right, closing thoughts, what you want people to take away from your worst financial year?
I would say, again, I've never been a huge proponent, and if you ever watch my channel, I'm not a huge proponent of the guys who come out and they preach mindset. It's not because I don't think mindset's important. It is. It absolutely is. Both Dion and I were police officers. When you run into a situation where you're going to get shot at, mindset is absolutely critically important. The reason I don't talk about it is because I think it's just a cheap feel-good thing. But this is a situation where mindset and perspective is very, very important. I have some siblings of mine that don't make nearly as much money as me. They don't invest like I do. And when I hear about their financial problems, it's a couple $100 problem. And you almost catch yourself saying, man, I wish I had a problem that was only a couple $100 problem. But the reality is, no, I don't. My problems are $100,000 problems. I would like to get to the point in life where my problems become multi-million-dollar problems. So when you can change your perspective and say, it sucks, but I can either deal with the suck at the $1 million level, the $50,000 level, or the $500 level, I choose to try to deal with the problems that are at a higher dollar amount, because I think that's going to get me the life I want, the financial freedom I want, and certainly around the friends I want.
That's actually one of my takeaways too, is I hope that we can get everybody to what is called fuzzy numbers when it comes to the math of dealing with money. I was watching a channel called Multifamily Strategies when Cody and Christian were doing it together, and they were interviewing a young lady. And I know people who get right down to, they know the cents in their bank account. And they usually get it down to around $17 before their next paycheck. So they know exactly how much they can spend. If they go and they do a $10, $13 Subway sandwich, they know the impact to their bank account. But she was talking about an investing where I think she put $30,000 or $90,000 into it or whatever, and the profit in the 6-month period was somewhere between $10,000 and $20,000. Somewhere between $10,000 and $20,000. The $10,000 gap is what made me think that's a wealthy person, because the person who's focused on the dollar amount in their bank account isn't making moves that could have a profit swing of up to a $10,000 difference. That's where we want to get you to. your family, friends dealing with $100 issues, there's a lot more stress in that than there is in the stress of you losing $160,000 on this deal, because it's still in the deal.
Right.
When it's all done, it'll still be there.
Right.
Hopefully you have a day full of amazing, and you get to financial freedom for you can go and find a place where you can get out of the wind and the weather and the cold. It looks like a nice sunny day here, but it is not. I have a live stream today at 4 o'clock. Hope to see you there. It will be on... The thumbnail's already out.
Shoot, you already told me it too, and I
did
forgot.
The hardest part about financial freedom, and it probably isn't what you think. Ciao.